Hi everyone, this is Richard Maok Riaño Botina, also known in the media, radio stations, and TV as hackerFiscalia. First of all, thank you everyone to be here. Here is 6:26 a.m. in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And in Colombia, it's 9:26 a.m. Let's start with the subject. Let's start with today's subject. So the subject is, it is not the immigrants, but Marco Rubio's friends. So what really that means? If we go to, if we analyze for a minute the problem that is happening in Colombia over the years, we found like the real criminals are in US soil. And it's not totally the responsibility of the immigrants in US. The heads are in US soil. That's why it's very important to talk about that subject today, because it's really concerning. It's really concerning, and it's important to talk about. Why not? So they are not immigrants. They are friends of Marco Rubio. Heads of Colombian drug traffickers are in US soil. So this is the article. Hashtag Marco Rubio's friends. So let's start. Donald Trump, let me check the sound here, everything is good. Okay, so let's start. Donald Trump blamed immigrants as criminals, but if we look deeper, we find that former Colombian President Iván Duque has an apartment in Miami. He lives there and attends meetings at the Wilson Center. Then the big criminals rub shoulders with the US politicians such as Marco Rubio. I posted the following video 7 years ago on September 4, 2017. So please go ahead and fast forward to the minute 1 hour, 24 minutes, 8 seconds of this link. And also in that minute, you will find the following segment where I mention Marco Rubio, Mario Diaz-Balart, Ileana Ros-Lehtinen, and Carlos Curbelo as the US Congress members who support Álvaro Uribe Vélez. So it is important to talk about because I have been mentioned this subject like since already like 7 years ago, and things happen, and nothing happened with the narco state in Colombia. The narco state persists. It's the same. So that's why I consider today to speak about this subject today. Marco Rubio, in charge of the State Department, is a close friend of former President Álvaro Uribe Vélez, linked to the Sinaloa cartel, linked to the former Medellin cartel, the United Self-Defense Forces of Colombia, and today is the political leader of the Gaitanista Self-Defense Forces of Colombia, or Gaitanista Army of Colombia, or as it is known to the government, the Gulf Cartel. Álvaro Uribe Vélez not only received $1 million from Chapo Guzman from allowing him to transport 10 tons of cocaine from El Dorado Airport in a four-turbine plane since 2007, but he also sent a colonel in civilian clothes to receive narco money from Otoniel on a regular basis. Álvaro Uribe Vélez is a mafia boss of mafia bosses. Likewise, Eduardo Enrique Zapatero Altamiranda received from Otoniel. His Twitter account is at EE Zapatero. So he received $1 of from Otoniel, and also Aníbal Gaviria Correa, ex-governor or former governor of Antioquia, with Miguel Quintero Calle, received $2 million from Otoniel. In a 3-year investigations by hackerFiscalia, that means me, investigation teams in Colombia and Canada into former drug counter-guerrilla army member Dairo Antonio Usuga David, also known as Otoniel, the contents of micro SD memory sticks or SD memory cards found in his personal suitcase were publicly exposed. The flash drives contain 20 secret coordinates in 2 PDF documents and another 17 coordinates on printed maps. The 37 secret coordinates of Otoniel. So this is the complete list of coordinates of the narco states on Google Maps. So please go ahead and click this link. You will find more information there. So here are the 37 coordinates that are key for the investigations in Colombia. And after I make this public, there were like a ton of captures and seizures of properties and goods in Colombia. So yeah, they seize everything. Now 20 coordinates in 2 PDF files with the names Libro and Libro 1, that means book or book 1. So as you can see, here is the coordinate and a title in front. So here the situation is my former president. So you guys guess who they are talking about, who referred to. So my former president could be Iván Duque or Álvaro Uribe Vélez. Also to Miguel things, that means like the things of myself, of my stuff. That's what it means in English. They also put the initials AUB, and in Colombia everybody knows that it refers to Álvaro Uribe Vélez. There is another name called Blacklist. My family, that means Otoniel's family. My paths, that the way, the routes where they transport the cocaine. Documents, Duque, that means former president Iván Duque documents. Also documents government, that means Iván Duque's government or Álvaro Uribe Vélez's government. Miss Andrea, that means Juan José Valencia Zuluaga, also known as Andrea or Falcon. The other one is my good friends. Now in the next one is book or libro. In this situation they refer to Zapatero General. That means Eduardo Enrique Zapatero, the former general commander of the army. The next one is Government of Antioquia, Police Commandos, Police Commands. My flights, that means the routes of the cocaine. My data, my partners from Mexico. My Italian friends. My partners from Mexico are very important coordinate because the Colombian authorities found that coordinate in Colombia and they shared that information with the Mexican authorities in order to arrest Ovidio Guzman, the El Chapo's son. And that was very important. Also, the Nemesio's brother, Antonio Ceguera Cervantes, that was very key also. That's why it's important, those coordinates. Now, the next one is my Italian friends. That's why they captured Matteo Messina Denaro from the Cosa Nostra Italian mafia. The next one is my northern friends, that means US and Canada. The next one is my blonde friends, also presumably US and Canada. The next one, my angel friends. So as you guys know, in English we talk about angel investors. Maybe it's an angel investors or a real friend that looks like an angel, like a really good buddies. Now, 17 coordinates found on printed maps. So here I publish the degrees, minutes, seconds, and decimal configuration of Google Maps, basically, Google Maps configuration. So here you can read it, you can find yourself, you can search that, or you can follow the link that I posted. So here is 17 coordinates that you guys can have a look in your own computer. In those coordinates, they found the location of safe houses where cocaine boxes with dollars, weapons, and more micro SD memory sticks were stored. In the coordinate title, my partners in Mexico, that's what I just told you, Colombian authorities found the coordinates of the location of the home of Ovidio Guzman, son of Chapo Guzman, as well as the coordinate of Antonio Oceguera Cervantes, brother of Nemesio, also known as El Mencho, the top leader of the Jalisco New Generation cartel. In the coordinate title, my Italian friends, the location of Capo Matteo Messina Denaro, who was in hiding for more than 30 years and belonged to the Italian mafia La Cosa Nostra, was found. Through the investigations of the Colombian authorities, plus the information published by hackerFiscalia, that means me, led to the removal of approximate 30 billion pesos, or about $7.5 million, from drug trafficking during the government of Gustavo Petro. If Colombians decide to leave Colombia for the US in search of a better life, it was precisely because in Colombia we have had narco presidents such as Álvaro Uribe Vélez and Iván Duque, who did not care about the welfare of Colombians, and that led to a massive exodus. So here is a video that I encourage to watch, but let's have a look very quick here. So this video is like this. Let's go to okay, one second.
Mucha gente de Colombia, ¿no?
He say there is lots of people of Colombia, right? Is that right? So that's what he is asking. And
¿Por
you
qué
see,
tanta gente de Colombia?
Está dura la situación.
he said, why so many people from Colombia? Because the situation is very hard, and they are in the border with Mexico and US. Why Colombians needs to be there in the first place? That's ridiculous. Something happened in Colombia that basically produce like a lead for them to go out of the country, or is because in the United States it's so good that everybody want to go there. I believe more it's because there is something happening in Colombia, basically in the past, the Iván Duque's government that make that for displacement of the citizens, so they feel forced to go out of the country in order to save their lives.
De Colombia también, ¿por qué?
Duque nos tiene acá. El presidente Duque. En la inopia. Nos tiene jodidos ese uribismo.
De Colombia, mucha gente de Colombia.
So they say that basically because the Iván Duque presidency, they are there because they are having a really bad time because the former president Iván Duque is not taking care of their own citizens. That's why they are leaving the country, and now they are in the US border.
¿Dónde vienen por acá?
So I repeat the video there. Yeah, so that's the problem there. Okay, let's continue. Then the massive exodus of Colombians to the US was partially the responsibility of the previous government, or the previous Colombian government of narco former president Iván Duque, including massacres of the civilian population during the national strike. So here is, this is also important video to watch. I know maybe for you guys that that don't live in Colombia, maybe it's a little bit graphic, a little bit hard to watch because it's hard to watch. I mean, it's not as easy as you think, but let's have a look. This is what happened. I mean, this is no Gaza. This is no Gaza. This is no Iran or Afghanistan. This is Colombia. And basically the police and the army, they took power in their own hands, and the police start shooting people, their own intelligence officers, and also they start shooting civilians, which is not acceptable. But let's have a look. I'll move forward. Okay.
A matarnos, señores. Entonces ahí le hablo claro. Mañana madrugados, 3 de la mañana, firmes todo el mundo atrincherado, soldado que sea por ahí, vamos a pegarlo. Probabilidades de tomar rehenes y despojar a los militares de los fusiles para confrontar una guerra igual. Si ellos tienen fuerza, nosotros también vamos a tener poder. Porque
this is the type of guns, or the bullets case that they are using. See how big is this? And the regular, like a rifle and 9mm. Those are the guns that the Colombian authorities are using. Why they don't use something less powerful in order to de-escalate the problem? That's what the Colombian police at that moment, they didn't understood, or probably they received the order to start killing civilians, which is ridiculous, but it happened. It happened.
que el gobierno paramilitar, narcoestado que tenemos, hay que enfrentarlo es con...
Okay, let's have a look. Let's forward.
Darle de bala a todo, a diestra y siniestra, que no importa quién fuera, que la orden era darles de baja.
They say that no, it doesn't matter who it is that is in the protest, but the order is to kill them, to shoot at them.
Por favor, compartan esto en redes, compartan esto en todo lado y no...
Okay, so let's have a look some more videos here. So it's 7 hours, no?
Cuidado mi vida.
No meta la moto, no meta la moto.
So just the people. See, immediately the police is shooting. What makes the police to start shooting like that? They know the other people doesn't have guns. Why they have to take that? That's the last resource, to start shooting people. That's not acceptable. Obviously not. So got a bit. You go on that road, I hear shots. Maybe you too, right? Why the Colombian people that are not content, that are not happy with the Colombian government, with the past Colombian government of Iván Duque, why would people doesn't have the right to go outside and say, hey, I'm not happy because something happened in the government, and the government starts shooting at them? That's very serious. I just hear a burst of a gun, of a rifle, of an automatic weapon.
No aguanto. Vale. Para.
Looks like that protest was shot. That's how I look more.
El cooperativo a cargo de 049781 intervino una movilización totalmente pacífica, escalante.
So they say that the protest that they are doing is totally pacific, is totally in calm, but the police are start shooting stuff. They start shooting like those Molotov bombs and smoky bombs. And why they have to do that? I mean, people are not doing anything wrong, just standing there. Why the police has to be so rude? So that's what happened. And the people say, without violence, without violence. People doesn't want to fight. They just want to protest. But the police at the moment say no.
Mientras la gente grita sin violencia, levanta las manos, la policía sigue ahí.
Again, why the police are acting that way? Who give the right to start killing people? There is procedures in the police to start using the less lethal weapon first, and then see what happened. But see, people start shooting at once. That's the thing that is not acceptable.
Lo pegaron, vea.
They shoot a neighbor, and yeah, the people are bringing in the car because that's the abuse of the police. Why they have to do that? And that happened not in Petro's government, that happened in Ivan's Duque government.
Pégale otra, hijo de puta.
Esto parece de película.
Policía en la avenida del Río, a este joven lo acaban de agredir. Los policías. Estos, vean.
They say that that guy has the head broken because the police were
En el CAI de la avenida del Río, los policías tirándole piedra a la gente y bolillo.
there is an international law that prohibits those basically bullets to be shot like a straight, basically, almost in a straight way. They have to be shot in a parabolic movement, but when they start shooting in the front, that's the moment when you start seeing cases of people having like a hint in the head, like a piece of like at the middle right there, the skin is going in because they shoot the face or in the eye and they lose the eyes. So that's a problem. I mean, I'm pretty sure this doesn't happen in Canada. In US, maybe as well, not too much. They use like a ultrasound equipment to try to displace the people. But in Colombia, they just use those guns like that. And that creates a problem because it's an excess of force against the civil population. And also in this kind of protest, it was publicly known that the same people from the police, the intelligence police, they infiltrate the protests, and they are the ones start breaking windows, start doing vandalism. They are the ones that start first, and then the police answer not to that police officer, but to the people that are quiet and in silence, just standing in some place. See the tactics that they use. Again, all this happened not in the Gustavo Petro's government, but in the Ivan Duque's government. And again, Marco guy is Marco Rubio's friend. I'll move forward a little bit.
Se creen gladiador al parido, vea. Paridos y hueputas son. Chorreas, ¿ya? Mira, que se cae. Vea. No, pues cuidado, muy peligroso en silla de ruedas.
So basically, they sent that bomb very close to a person that was disabled. It was in his wheelchair. Why the police have to do that? I mean, the wheelchair person is not going to cause any harm to the public, but the harm is caused by the Colombian authorities, in this situation, the national police.
¡Oh, pues demasiado! ¡Cogieron al más peligroso!
Me trajeron para una reja.
It is designed when the police shoot those weapons, those bullets that are huge, and that's the injury that cause. Sometimes it's more prominent, and also it happens in the eye. People lose their eyes. That's permanent damage. who is going to pay for those things? Who is going to be responsible? The government is responsible? Of course not. They just want to cause like a civilian terrorism and get away with that. So that's terrible.
Me esposaron y me golpearon. Fui brutalmente golpeado. Miren cómo estoy. Las costillas las tengo demasiado aporreadas. Las manos las tengo dañadas. Me aporrearon por todo lado.
I have an injury in the ribs and also injury in the hands. And the face, of course.
Estoy lleno de sangre por todo lado.
Las marcas de las esposas y tiene una herida en la cabeza.
Tengo un chichón acá. Me robaron el celular. Gracias a Dios no cargaba mi identificación.
They stole the cell phone and they hit the head.
Ni mi bolso, pero sí cargaba mi celular y me lo robaron. Ellos mismos me lo sacaron, me rompieron la ropa y me querían meter cosas en el pantalón.
They say that they stole the cell phone and they try to put things inside the pant. Just try to presume like he has cocaine or something, so they put like something inside the pant in order to justify something that is not real.
Cuando me esposan, me tiran contra una reja y me dicen que no me golpeé solo.
They put the handcuffs to this guy, and then the police throw him against a fence, and they say, and the police say, "Hey, don't hit yourself, don't hit yourself," knowing that it's the same police that are causing this problem, and they are the one assaulting this guy, and not the opposite.
En la reja, la gente que comenzó a grabar, que me comenzó a pedir mi identificación, los policías comenzaron a empujarlos, a estrujarlos, en fin.
Let's move forward a bit. And showing this is what means having Iván Duque before as a president, and also Álvaro Uribe Vélez. The government means dead, basically. Opposite to the Gustavo Petro's government, that means life. So that's why the difference, and it's important to have a look at this contrast.
¿Por qué les pegan?
Esto es increíble. El SMAT está dañando las motos que están parqueadas en el papel de la carrera primera con calle. Las están dañando. Motos que estaban parqueadas.
They say that police are basically causing like a damage of a motor vehicle that is there, and just like that, just because they want to cause damage.
Para que se den cuenta quiénes son los criminales acá.
So this guy say that this is how it's publicly seen that the police are the criminals, not the protesters.
Esa moto de allá y todas las que están acá parqueadas.
Sí.
15 metros. Ahora imagínense este tipo de fragmentos que son bolonchos, son bolas, son canicas, solamente por el peso y la velocidad son letales.
They say that they found like some kind of objects, like a sphere, like a metallic spheres that has been shot by the these weapons that they have, the police, and that with that speed will cause a problem. It really can kill you at high speed because it's heavy. And that's the guns that they are using. They collect all the pieces.
Con esto nos están atacando. Con esto nos están matando. Por eso es importante que los medios, que todas las redes multipliquemos la información. Porque nos están dando.
También nos están dando balas de fusil.
That's the reason why I say that the Colombian authorities during Iván Duque government, they basically massacred the civilian population. That's not acceptable. It's for
Miren cómo nos atacan. Miren cómo atacan. Miren cómo atacan. Cobardes. Atacando al propio pueblo. El pueblo que con sus impuestos les da de comer a ustedes y a sus familias. Atacando al pueblo que les da de comer con los impuestos.
As I say, basically the police, they are attacking the same population, and the same population obviously are using the taxpayer to pay these public officials.
A ustedes y a sus familias.
Let's have a look at another segment here. where they're using these vehicles. I remember in Canada, they use the same, but really big trucks, and all the truck drivers, they use the same. And basically, the Canadian government they basically seize the bank accounts. They freeze the bank accounts, and nobody has the right to take out money from the bank. And also, they start doing like a fundraising, and they stop the fundraising. Yeah. Let's move forward a little bit.
Mira al policía, míralo allá. Míralo echando piedra ahí. Míralo. Ahí ya se fue detrás de un árbol. Míralo. Míralo, ahí mal. Sí, ahí están tirando piedras. Míralos.
Okay, if the people are quiet, people are just waiting there. Why they have to start throwing things, huh?
Míralo.
¡Están disparando!
They are shooting people in a residential neighborhood. Why they have to do this in a neighborhood? And you can hear the shots.
¡No dispare! ¡No dispare!
People say, don't shoot. Okay, let's forward.
Dale, están pegando, abuso de poder.
That person could be anyone. If you go anytime to Colombia, not now, but in the past, let's say when Iván Duque was in power, if you go to Colombia and maybe you are walking at the moment and the police can catch you and they can hit you like that. There is no way to save yourself because the police at the moment was very criminal. Gustavo Petro, right now, the current president of Colombia, he's trying to change that. And he made lots of reforms. So now it's different. But in the past, when Iván Duque was in the presidency, it was like that. And Iván Duque and Marco Rubio, they're buddies, they're friends. And that's where it's hard to understand, right? Why Marco Rubio is friend of a criminal, of a drug, or like a kingpin, like a drug dealer, like a drug trafficker at the category of kingpin. I mean, it's unbelievable, but it's happening in Colombia. It's happening. And Iván Duque has a property in Miami, in US, and is friend of Marco Rubio, also Álvaro Uribe Vélez.
No le peguen.
See, and the guy that.
No le peguen.
This guy is recording with a cell phone, and the police just went against him, assaulting him. Why they have to do that? Because they don't want evidence. But I have 7 hours of evidence here that you guys can see.
Yo no lo estoy grabando.
He said, I'm just recording, which is not criminal. It's not criminal to record. They're in public street, in public property. So he has the right to record, and he has the right to be there. I mean, and not be assaulted by the police.
Estoy grabando. ¡Hey, yugo!
That's when I see that the Colombian police doesn't have any training, apparently. They don't know how to use other weapons in order to avoid this problem. They don't know how to use a teaser or something like that in order to de-escalate the problem. And that's concerning weapons. And that's one thing that we should consider. Again, this happening during Iván Duque's presidency. It's not happening during Gustavo Petro, but it's something to have a look.
disparando los cañones. ¡Asesinos! ¡Asesinos! Está acá la gente queriendo ir allá. Porque aquí no estamos solos.
Pero por favor no vengan.
Por favor, no vengan para acá.
This is a human rights defender that is telling the people not to go there. See, even there is people like human rights defenders and try to control the situation, but the police, they think like they don't exist basically. So let's have a look.
¿Qué es? ¿Ese es el arma?
Sí.
¡Juepucha! ¡Está disparando!
Está disparando.
Yo lo grabé. Está disparando.
Él no puede disparar.
Él no puede disparar.
¿Quién está disparando?
Un policía, no. Yo lo grabé.
See, the police officer is shooting.
Claro, como aquí no hay cámaras.
Yeah, so see, this guy is shooting in a straight way to another civilian. He doesn't supposed to do that, but he's doing it. Another evidence. And again, this happened during Iván Duque presidency. It's not during the current president Gustavo Petro. But again, Iván Duque is friend of Marco Rubio, and that's the government that he has before.
Digámoslo así, más que amigos, una mala relación. Llamémoslo así. Entonces, por eso es que es importante estar independiente. Ojalá Colombia.
It's a recording, a live recording at that moment.
La verdad no sé para dónde vamos, pero vamos ahí, manito. Mira, 37.600 personas, huevo. ¿Qué pasó, pues? ¡Ey, no! Pa' encima, manito.
But the people are obviously try to go live in order to record the things that are happening because there are several abuses of the police. So I encourage you to watch this video when you have some time. In total 7 hours, so please have a look at this thing. Okay, so let's move forward here. Officially, Iván Duque narco government profiled Colombians and indigenous groups in Colombia, as well as Colombians living in Vancouver and Montreal in Canada, Brussels in Belgium, Amsterdam and The Hague in the Netherlands, Paris in France, and Bilbao in Spain. This is the Colombian intelligence during Iván Duque presidency. Why they have to profile other people from other countries? That's not acceptable, but he did it. For this reason, Canada, the Colombian military intelligence, espionage, and foreign interference. So here is the letter that I sent to the Vancouver Police Department, and the date. I hide the number to avoid interference from Uribe's people. So here you see, I received a 36-page Colombian military intelligence report which target Canadian citizens living in Vancouver and Montreal on page 34, among other cities such as Brussels, Amsterdam, The Hague, Paris, and Bilbao. The order from the corrupt military intelligence is to assassinate the protesters in those cities. So here are the links. I spoke with Lawrence. He spoke with me and I gave him the same 36-page report, and then he sent he sent them to Ottawa, but at the moment I didn't receive any calls from Ottawa yet. Yeah, so I say that Dario Antonio Usuga David, top leader of the El Clan del Golfo, also known as Otoniel, Mauricio Omao, officially declares the Gustavo Petro's political organization Colombia Humana as a military target due to the reckless accusations that have been made against Petro political party. The Clan del Golfo is a heavily armed, extreme violent criminal organization comprised of former members of the United Self-Defense Forces of Colombia. They want to repeat the assassination style that happened with the former political organization Unión Patriótica, or UP. Even so, this person, this government that is basically a friend and basically a business partner of Otoniel, that means Iván Duque and Álvaro Uribe Vélez, are the ones that I report here in this denounce that I make to the Vancouver police. Dice, what is worse is that the Colombian narco-state is protecting Dairo Antonio Usuga David. They really want to stick to the narco-state power no matter what, due to the strong commercial relationship with the Mexican Sinaloa cartel. The U.S. Department of State is currently offering a reward of up to $5 million for information leading the arrest or conviction of Dairo Antonio Usuga David. The State Department. So now that Marco Rubio is in the State Department, I'm just thinking myself, if this happened before, how they pretend to put a friend in jail? Because Dairo Antonio Usuga David gave Iván Duque 5 billion pesos. Is that acceptable? That's what I mean. And this letter is not 2021. So that's my concern. And also the military intelligence, well, there's a Colombian Reports article that is called Military Intelligence Spy on Protest Organizers in Colombia, US, and Europe. So basically, we are talking about a transnational criminal organization led by Iván Duque and Álvaro Uribe Vélez. That's the problem. Now let's continue. Here is the army infiltrated the April 28, 2021 in the national strike. So you can see the video here. That trafficking heads are today in the US territory, and they are the ones that cause the most damage. Colombian immigrants and immigrants from other countries in US territory helped the economic development of the United States. That's clear. Also Mexicans and Latin people, they went to the as a farmers, and they helped to grow the food basically of the US citizens. On the other hand, Luis Horacio Escobar Saldarriaga, also known as the Invisible Octopus, former mafia boss of the Black Eagles, who sent threats through email assuring to retaliate against the Canadian embassy in Bogota in the next days. That happened around June 14, 2008, was also important among those drug trafficking heads. Article from the newspaper El Tiempo. So here is the link. For the people that just just came to the channel, please follow this link, and you guys can have all the information translated to English. Okay, let's continue. Canada denounces terrorist threats against his embassy in the country due to asylum for parapolitics witness. This was admitted by an authorized spokesman of the Canadian government 48 hours ago to El Tiempo. Although for security reasons, he refrained from giving details about the intimidation. Editorial staff El Tiempo. He announced that this time from Ottawa, headquarters of his government, measures were ordered to be taken. We have a security infrastructure in place to protect us as a government, the Canadians official point out. Although the issue has been kept under the most absolute secrecy, neither DAS, that means the Foreign Intelligence Agency in Colombia, nor the Attorney General's office know about it. Reporters from El Tiempo were able to establish that a group that signs itself as the Black Eagles or Águilas Negras, that according with the article is the second generation paramilitaries. I say that the AUC Black Eagles are the same, and also AGC and EGC the same. This has been announcing through emails that it will retaliate against the diplomatic headquarters in the next few days. That happened with the Canadian Embassy in Bogota, Colombia. The witness and the leak. At the request of those affected, El Tiempo refrains from revealing the identity of the witness, as well as the names of the politicians he has already implied evidence. That is concrete is that although 5 months ago the embassy had received a series of similar intimidations on a par with other diplomatic headquarters, this time the situation is different. The information about the asylum for this family, placed a source in the know, had just been taken and was only handled by a small group of high-level Canadian officials. Relocation of asylum seekers? When you guys read this, probably you guys are thinking maybe it's me that have to relocate. When I came to Canada, we have also important information that say that hitmen were sent to Canada in order to kill prosecutors and detectives. That's real, and that happened. But basically, we are very dispersed in different places, and it was hard for them to find us. So this fact will lead to the conclusion that the diplomatic headquarters have to be infiltrated, at least electronically, to gain access to this information. So the Canadian authorities, they feel like they were hacked by someone. That's why they have the information. Hence, the data relevant to the identities and location of Colombian asylum seekers has been physically and electronically protected, and even the relocation of some of them is not ruled out. Although a month ago, Canada transferred Jairo Castillo Peralta, known as Pitirri, a star witness of the Supreme Court, against at least 7 congressmen, after the Witness Protection Program of the Attorney General's office warned him that 2 assassins would travel to assassinate him. Same with us, with the former CTI agents from the Technical Investigation Unit and prosecutors. NGOs and another diplomatic headquarters. International investigation agencies in alliance with a Colombian security agency. Canadian case, but also similar calls received by another diplomatic office of a European country and by at least 5 NGOs. The Attorney General's office, for his part, is trying to sign agreements with the Latin American countries to receive protected witnesses. The idea, as explained by prosecutor Mario Iguarán in Lima, Peru, is to broaden the spectrum of countries receiving refugees and to look for working and living environments more similar to the Colombian one. That means if a Colombian come to Canada, the idea is to have a look. To have a look like a similar conditions. No? But for now, Canada, the main and strongest ally on the issue, is on alert. More than 2,000 asylum seekers each year. Currently, Canada is the main ally. So basically, if an immigrant are living in Colombia, basically it's important to suggest that they should live in Latin America, because they can live close to the same culture, same food, same weather. They don't have to come to Canada to face minus 40 degrees or to work in those conditions. They are not normal for people that are close to the tropic, close to the Ecuadorian line. Yeah. So currently, Canada is the main ally of the Colombian authorities in the protection of witnesses. It is estimated that about 14,000 nationals, including judges, former paramilitaries, guerrillas, journalists, trade unionists, and former prosecutors live in that country as refugees. This number shows that Colombia recognizes that there is a humanitarian emergency in Colombia due to the conflict. In fact, the US has become the second country after Ecuador in receiving Colombian refugees. According to statistics kept by the Colombian embassy in Ottawa, in 2006, the Canadian government granted refugee status to 1,200 Colombians and the 1,400 who officially requested. This diplomatic mission calculated the number of Colombian refugees in the last 10 years at 8,000. The United Nations Refugee Agency, the UNHCR, in our country has warned that the number of Colombian refugees applications in Canada has been increasing for the last 4 years. According to the agency figures, in 1999, there were between 400 and 500 applications for refugee status in Canada. Today, the number of people seeking to leave Colombia for that country exceeds 2,000. The Canadian government approves 75% of refugee applications from Colombia, a considerable figure considering that only 48% of applications from other countries in the world are accepted. That was made by Investigator. I personally denounced Luis Horacio Escobar Saldarriaga, the deputy prosecutor Marta Mancera within Francisco Barbosa's office of investigating him. They decided to assassinate him with 2 shots on Friday, October 8, 2020. On March 2nd, 2020, Mancera was sworn in as deputy prosecutor. So that's the picture of Luis Horacio Escobar Saldarriaga that had been shot in the neck and the head. The reactions of his best friends, were not lacking. Álvaro Uribe Vélez, José Ferreira Laforí, his wife and former Senator María Fernanda Cabal, his wife and his wife, they basically posted the following links. So here is Álvaro Uribe Vélez, he say, asesinan a Luis Horacio Escobar en Caucasia, toda nuestra solidaridad con su familia. Básicamente, they kill Luis Horacio in Caucasia and all the solidarity with his family. So the question is, why a president, they have to go in Twitter, take the time to address the situation about Luis Horacio, who is the former boss of the Black Eagles? Why they have to do that? It's like in US, maybe a president saying, oh, I'm sorry because Al-Qaeda was killed or something, or ISIS or anyone. And they feel sorry because they were killed. Same situation. So Álvaro Uribe Vélez, they feel sorry because his buddies in the mafia, they got killed. That's questionable, right? So here's Luis Horacio and also José Ferreira Laforí. José Ferreira Laforí, he has power in Colombia because branch top, basically. Is the top basically cattle ranch in Colombia. That's why he has some power. But also he used to meet in the a hotel that is called Pisces in Caucasia, and he used to meet with Mario Uribe, that is the cousin of the former president Álvaro Uribe Vélez, also with Álvaro Uribe Vélez, with the head also of the Black Eagles, Luis Horacio Escobar Saldarriaga, and also Rodrigo Alberto Zapata Sierra, also known as Ricardo. They used to meet at the Hotel Pisces in order to basically plan assassinations, sendings of cocaine to US, and displacement of small farmers in order to steal those farms, in order to steal the land. Let's continue here. María Fernanda Cabal. Okay, one second. So did he say, lamentamos mucho el vil asesinato de Luis Horacio Escobar en Caucasia. Básicamente, they say, something like, I'm sorry for the assassination of Luis Horacio Escobar in Caucasia. He was a rancher and also he has buffaloes for a long time. Solidarity with his family. Yeah. And also his wife, that is called María Fernanda Cabal. She say, lamento profundamente el asesinato del ganadero Luis Horacio Escobar, nuestras condolencias a su familia. The same. Basically, they feel sorry for the assassination of Luis Horacio Escobar. Condolences to the family. Colombia debe recuperar la seguridad. She say, Colombia should recover the security. The country is in the hands of the crime. But what people doesn't know is that María Fernanda Cabal and his husband, that means José Ferreira Laforí, they both used to hire guerrilla members and paramilitary members to kill small farmers in order to steal the land. So that's why they have lots of land for the cows that they have, right? Yeah. So they are the main of cocaine in Colombia. Well-known cattle rancher murdered in the Bajo Cauca region of Antioquia. So they delete the news at the moment, but I recovered on webarchive.org. So here is the link. If Luis Horacio was not, that's important analysis here. If Luis Horacio Escobar Saldarriaga was not an important man for them, maybe not even Uribe, Lafouré, or Cabal would have taken the time to write about him. Today, I wonder how much they offer for this murder and who killed him. Before which of Colombian already knows that this assassination was ordered by his partner Álvaro Uribe Vélez, because Luis Horacio said. Luis Horacio is, I am not going to jail. Uribe is going with me. Because they are family related, no? They are like cousins. Gustavo Petro also spoke out. So Gustavo Petro, he said, I don't know who killed the invisible octopus, Luis Horacio Escobar Saldarriaga. The information that we have say that this guy, Luis Horacio, he was pressuring the members of the Gulf cartel in order to assassinate members of the Colombia Humana, that means the political party that belongs to Gustavo Petro in the past. Yeah, and also to basically assassinate who is writing this. That means me. So he tagged me here and he retweeted with a quote, because I say, yesterday was killed Luis Horacio Escobar Saldarriaga, the invisible octopus, who offered $2 million for my assassination. When I did another million, that means $3 million. So I say, how much money pay Uribe in order to kill Luis Horacio? That's an important question. Yeah, so here is the link, so you guys can go ahead. And here is the video as well, so you guys can have a look at home. And here is the video where I explain in Spanish that they offer $2 million and then they put more to $3 million in order to kill me. This is an article that I did about Luis Horacio Escobar Saldarriaga, the invisible octopus o pulpo invisible. And also this is an audio that I record, and I spoke with the Deputy Attorney General Marta Mancera, and I explained to her, like, I told her I have the cell phone of this guy Luis Horacio Escobar Saldarriaga. Please do something with that cell phone. Please investigate the cell phone, like a wiretap the cell phone in order to like intercept the communications, so the Attorney General office, they will know all the network. But they did nothing with that information. They hide the information, and instead of trying to investigate this guy, the family member of Uribe, they decide to kill him with 2 shots in the neck, 1 in the head. That's the Attorney General's Office of Colombia in the moment where, well, maybe right now it's the same, but when Marta Mancera and the former Attorney General Francisco Barbosa were in office. That moment. So please have a look. It's in Spanish, no? Luis Horacio met at the hotel. That's what I explained before. Luis Horacio met at the hotel Pieces in Caucasia with paramilitary bloc leaders Álvaro Uribe Vélez, José Ferrer Lafouré, Rodrigo Alberto Zapata Sierra, alias Ricardo, also known as Ricardo, and Mario Uribe to plan murders, massacres, land thefts, forced displacement, and drug trafficking routes. On November 3, 2022, I filed a complaint with the Attorney General's Office of Francisco Barbosa about the shipment of 10 tons of cocaine made by Álvaro Uribe Vélez to the Sinaloa cartel, together with Fernando. 8 days later, Claudio Javier Silva Talora, an associate of Colombia's #1 drug trafficker Julio Lozano Pirateque, was found murdered with a rifle belonging to Ivan Duque's narco government. Basically, he was killed with a rifle that belongs to the government. I mean, that it was the government that killed him. The assassination occurred on Friday, November 11, 2022. Julio Lozano Pirateque did not want his partner Claudio to talk about him to the Attorney General's office and decided to silence him. Very soon, hackerFiscalia will be able to travel, if donations are enough, to recover 163 hours of secret video and audio recordings of Carlos Castaño, former leader of the United Self-Defense Forces of Colombia, talking to Álvaro Uribe Vélez, two other former presidents, and Pedro Juan Moreno, among many others. And I say many. I count around 32. So the following people may also be on the recordings. May be also in the recordings. I'm not sure, but it's possible. Based on the investigations, and it's possible that also the former president Andrés Pastrana, the former president Cesar Gaviria, the former consul in Washington, Francisco Santos Calderón, Jaime Garzón, who was a comedian, Ernesto Samper Pizano, or former president, Horacio Serpa is also former presidential candidate, Santiago Uribe Vélez, Álvaro Uribe Vélez brother, Rito Alejo del Río, that also committed crimes against humanity, General Iván Ramírez Quintero, also involved in false positives, like killing people, obviously killing civilians, and they said that they were guerrilla members. General Mario Montoya Uribe, Colonel Luis Alberto Plazas Vega, General Mauricio Santoyo, that he was already sentenced in US, Mario Uribe Escobar, his cousin, Uribe's cousin, Luis Horacio Escobar Saldarriaga, the former head of the Black Eagles, Jorge Noguera Cotes, former director of the DAS, Luis Alfredo Ramos, Ernesto Báez, Jorge Luis Caballero, Eleonora Pineda, Miguel de la Espriella, all those are linked with paramilitary members. That means illegal armed groups. Álvaro García Romero, William Montes, Luis Horacio, former Attorney General, who basically dismissed me because another prosecutor ordered me to do the investigation about who in the office are connected with illegal armed groups. And I did the investigation, but he didn't like it, and he just decided to seize my home, to intercept my phone calls, to do surveillance against me illegally, in order to try to figure out if I had more connections there, in order to avoid any investigation. So they want to hide the evidence, basically. And the order was to try to kill me later, after they dismissed from the office. After they dismissed me from the office, but my colleagues, they advised me that I was in imminent danger to be killed, so I have to go out of the country, and I did that. So I leave the country after I spoke with the Canadian embassy, thanks also to the Gustavo Petro, because he intervened and he spoke with the Canadian government about this emergency situation, so I was able to leave Colombia in less than 48 hours after we spoke with the Canadian embassy. And also thank you for the Canadian government at that moment, the Canadian federal government, because thanks to them, I am alive. So that's important. And obviously, with the time, my followers have been like donating money in order to buy this body armor that keeps me safe in Canadian territory, in Canadian soil. Okay, so that's Luis Camilo Sorizaza. Now, Jose Pereira Furi, that's another one that is possible that I spoke with, that are in the conversation, the secret recordings of Carlos Castaño, the former paramilitary leader. Jose Miguel Narváez, Claudio Gurizate, he's a journalist. Francisco Jose Pedraíta, he's an narco guy. International companies, Chiquita Brands International, Drummond Company Incorporated, Dole Food Company, British Petroleum Company, Cementos Argos is a multinational company with headquarters in Colombia, but he has international operations too. Other companies, banana producing companies, pulp growers, livestock, construction sector, energy sector. Uribe has denied 6 times in X or indirectly, but the evidence say otherwise. So you click this link, you will find all the 6 tweets that Álvaro Uribe Vélez make public, and he say, I don't know Carlos Castaño, I don't know him directly or indirectly. He said publicly, but according with the evidence, he spoke almost every day. He also was the one pointing to Carlos Castaño to say, hey, just put some paramilitary members in this area or here or there in the country. So he was advising Carlos Castaño to create paramilitaries and where to put it. That's in the recordings. That's why I encourage everyone to donate, basically in hackerFiscalia.com/donations, because there is money to protect the sources, and I need money also to travel, to pay the airplane ticket, the hotel, the food for 1 month. The idea is to go to that country to pick up those recordings to MP4 and MP3, and that way I can share on social media. Yeah, so here in this picture, that originally belongs to the 007 movie, they depict octopus. So basically, Álvaro Uribe Vélez, the same as Luis Horacio Escobar Saldarriaga, they were like an octopus. The difference is like Luis Horacio Escobar Saldarriaga was the invisible octopus, because nobody knows about him. He was the head of the Black Eagles, the paramilitary group, and also he never had any criminal record, because he has the power of having the Attorney General's office or the Supreme Court of Justice or the army on their side, on his pocket. So he has power. And also, when I started speaking on social media about him, the same DEA spoke about him. That's why my source told me, like, oh, now that you are talking in social media, the DEA told him, like, he's under investigation. So look at that. I mean, when people told me that, I say, oh, really? The DEA is talking with this guy? That's ridiculous, but it really happened. So when I discovered the 37 coordinates from Otoniel, and also the 11 audios and 13 letters, secret letters, they say that, yeah, effectively, the DEA is collaborating with the AGC, with the illegal armed groups, the Gaitanistas Alde Forces of Colombia, in order to allowing this organization to ship cocaine to United States or Canada. And that's the agreement, no? With the DEA, and also with the DIJÍN. So the DIJÍN at the Interpol, sometimes they have, as a director of this organization, they have Fernando Murillo. Fernando Murillo, he was the director of the Interpol, and the DIJÍN, that is the investigation police. This guy, Fernando Murillo, later, he was the boss of the head of security of José Félix Laforí. Basically the same guy that is the top rancher in Colombia. And they're working together. Again, that's ridiculous. Why they have to work together? The former head of the Interpol is working with this guy that is very corrupt in Colombia. That should never happen. But that's Colombia, and that happened. Yeah, okay, let's continue here. On the other hand, Colombia's top drug trafficker Julio Lozano Perateque and Jesus Hernando Sánchez launder money using emeralds through Furahems Inc. The Japanese Yakuza Mafia uses the Sumitomo Corporation as a front to launder drug money for the main Mexican cartels, Sinaloa and Jalisco New Generation, among others. So here is two links from the Yakuza pensions, because the Yakuza also, they took basically the money that the hard Colombian people, the hard workers in Colombian people, they deposited that money as a pension, and then the Yakuza Mafia took that money in order to invest in different projects. But with the Yakuza, so I was thinking, that's ridiculous. Even the Yakuza Mafia that laundry money for Mexican cartels, they still don't have money. It's not enough money that they need, that they have in order to do the illegal operations, money laundering, etc. And they are still taking the money from the pensions in Colombia. So they're diversifying, no? Diversifying the products and services that they offer, but it's connected with the mafia. It's connected with the money laundering, and that's not acceptable, of course. So that's why I encourage you to support these investigations. Go to hackerFiscalia.com/donations, and if you want to have a look about our results, go ahead to Google Maps and Google Translate and try to put this link there. hackerFiscalia.com/nuestros positivos. That means our results, something like that. Yeah, so this is Hacker Fiscalia, Transnational Criminal Investigation from Colombia, Canada, Italy, and Switzerland. So thank you so much. No, don't forget to subscribe, to give a thumbs up, and also to share, and probably to leave a comment. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like I need to talk today about this situation. I know that some followers in my channel, they say, no, don't talk English because we don't understand English. So it's important to only speak Spanish there. But I feel like it's concerning. It's concerning to have these people, Marco Rubio, having Marco Rubio as a friend of Álvaro Uribe Vélez and Iván Duque is concerning. And I'm worried, basically. because why the head of the State Department is in connection with the main drug traffickers in Colombia. They are the top figures, the political figures. So that's really not acceptable. I don't suppose even to speak this publicly, but that's what I have been doing for the last 22 years to try to expose these wrongdoings in the narco world industry. Because these people in the past, they killed my former colleagues and also some prosecutors. I even went to Cucuta and to Barranca as well, but I went to Cucuta to investigate the murder of 3 prosecutors that were killed. So these kind of people are the one that was in the office by the moment in 2002 when I was working there. And I have the legal order to investigate. That's why I know firsthand those cases. And when I see Albert Rivera, that I remember that Gustavo Petro told him, hey, there is paramilitaries in the Attorney General's office. Do something. Change that Attorney General. Just try to put another Attorney General, like a temporary Attorney General, but just investigate the other one, Luis Camilo Sorizaza. And Albert Rivera did nothing. Nothing at all. And the problem continues over the years. He also, Albert Rivera, was a president for two periods, and it's based on the electoral fraud. Those are the things that happen in Colombia. But he's the head of the AEC, the Gaitanista Self-Defense Forces of Colombia, that are the most powerful organization in Colombia that do drug trafficking. That's very serious. And of course, they receive money also. The former member of the army, the former commander of the army, Eduardo Enrique Zapatero Altamiranda, also received $1 million. And also Aníbal Gaviria, that also he's the basically he's a business partner also of the Univan organization, and they send basically bananas with cocaine inside, and they're working with the Fives, also a banana producer. And this company Fives, you will see like all the time when the news publish about those investigations and those seeds of cocaine, they find the boxes Fives, but that company, but nothing happened with that company over the years. Nothing, absolutely nothing. They don't touch that company because that company belongs to the Yakuza Mafia. The same person that is working there is part of the head of the shareholders of Sumitomo Corporation. Why people do nothing? Yeah, I know that they have a lot of power. The same as Furahems, they try to do everything. Like they block me now, obviously, in TikTok. I noticed from TikTok they say like not possible to, that is not basically it's too good to violate copyrights rules in TikTok. But I say, which copyrights? There is no copyrights, but they have been fooled. I mean, they have been fooled by these narcos, but they use in Dubai people from Turkey. People from Turkey, from another country, in order to try to put me down with fraudulent activities. Like they try to say, let's say in YouTube, I use this song, the song that you guys listen in the background. I have a license in order to run that song all the time in the channel, but at that moment, another person from Turkey, they removed my voice and leave that audio, the background, and they upload that in another website, in another YouTube channel, and they claim to YouTube that audio belongs to them. And I say, no, wait a minute, the audio doesn't belong to him. They say also the name is different. I say, no, that's not right. That's not right. It doesn't belong to him. I have the license to do that, so I present the license, and that case was dismissed. I won that case. Now, in Substack, where I write down those articles, they basically copy-paste everything in another website, and then they change the date. They put like a January 1st of last year, like a 1 year after, 1 year before. And then they claim that website belongs to them, and I copy-paste everything from them. So I was thinking, So how in the world they make like a website on January 1st, 2024, and they attach videos that happen in the future? How is that possible? They're attaching videos that I made my own videos in July or November, and I attach those videos. Why in the January 1st is already available those videos that's supposed to be in the future? And also in that article, I'm promoting myself to receive donations on hackerFiscalia.com, and they say that website is from them. So they are basically promoting my services and receiving donations on my behalf. On my behalf, they are promoting my website basically. It doesn't make sense, right? But that's the strategy that they use. Yeah, from a fake company that they have in New York. So they post a address that is in a place where they rent offices, but maybe they're not there. It's just fake. And also in TikTok, but in TikTok is worse, because in TikTok, basically a company that is called Blue TV, that's another big case. Blue TV is the one signing the claim for copyrights. TikTok never explained what copyrights. They say copyrights in general, but that means nothing. But TikTok is saying that all the time. And this company, Blue TV, is the one that Furahems Inc. in Dubai assigned in order to put me down through a mafia in Turkey. But remember that Turkey is a country that is working for NATO. The same as US, no? Belong to the same organization. And also is used by the CIA to do like dirty things. So I'm thinking, okay, Turkey is normal. So they are using their own resources, like illegal resources. So when they assigned this company, Blue TV was bought basically by Warner Bros. Discovery. Warner Bros. I watched so many movies about Warner Bros. Pictures. But now this is Warner Bros. Discovery that do documentaries. But still, I believe before it's a great company, no? But now it's connected with this mafia. That is where Julio Lozano Piratequi and Jesus Hernando Sanchez are working also with Furahems doing money laundering. So Blue TV was bought by Warner Bros. Discovery. And Warner Bros. Discovery is managed by another company from Turkey. And in that company, there is the owner, and the owner has a daughter. So that daughter married with another son of an important businessman in Turkey. And the president of Turkey went to that wedding. So the president of Turkey is connected with the whole organization, basically. So I could say, presumably, allegedly, that the current Turkey president is also involved in this criminal organization that also do money laundering in Dubai with Furahems and Julio Lozano Piratequi. Because that's the connection. And then I received yesterday again an email from TikTok where they say, no, this is the last source. If you want your video back, you have to go to a Canadian court in order to claim that that video is yours and present your evidence. And they're using the copyright the same as they use in a fraudulent way in YouTube and also on Substack. That's what happened. I already published that in Spanish, not in English, but if you guys want to have a look, search by Furahems on Substack.com that is connected to my domain name, hackerFiscalia.com. Yeah, so that's what happened with me. And also, well, you know, I received more than 18 pages of threats that are in power of Canadian authorities. That's why the Canadian government they approve a permit in order to use this body armor, because in Canada it's not allowed to use body armors or to have guns. But in exceptional, in just saying, in some cases, it's possible to use. Only the police and the army use these body armors, but in my situation, this is very dangerous for me. So I was allowed to use that. That's why I use, and also for me, it's a marketing tool. No? Also, I have my logo here, and also in the back say Transnational Criminal Investigation. It's important to have those things, because you never know. There is a shooting one day, and then probably because the police see me with this, they think like probably I'm a gang member, because in the past, the gang members, they have illegal body armors in order to protect themselves. But since in my back say Transnational Criminal Investigation, say, oh, wait a minute, this guy is not a gang member, this guy is an important guy, you know? So, I mean, I guess it's, yeah, of course, hackerFiscalia, the public guy, no? Hopefully they remember me, because I am more known in the Colombian media and the Colombian people, but not in US or Canada. People doesn't know me. Here I'm nobody, which is good. Which is good because I can hide a little bit, no? So I have friends of other countries and they have no idea who I am. So that's positive because I want to develop also that Canadian life in this English environment. Yeah, so that's the thing. That's the thing that happened in real life with me. So I encourage you to donate in hackerFiscalia.com and last donations. Also to share this video and to give a like, to give that thumbs up. So thank you so much for all the people that are here at this time. I will wrap up this video right now. Here in Vancouver, BC, Canada, where I'm doing this live streaming, it's 7:40 a.m. I was early today. Usually I don't stream because about my Canadian life at this time, so, but today I'm free. So I said, yeah, why not? Let's do this video a little bit early, so at least people can see in US and Canada and other Colombian people and other people. Let's say you are Colombian and your husband or your boyfriend is an English speaker. Well, I guess they will become my best friends now because I will speak in English as well, so they know what this guy is talking about, and the wife is all the time looking at me and say, well, who is this guy looking? Why he's talking about? But at least they understand a little bit. So ask me questions. Just put the questions in the comments, and I will answer. Yep. Okay, and yeah, in Colombia it's 10:49 a.m. right now. People waking up. Oh, some people are already working. I think in Colombia people wake up a little early than in Canada. I think a different life here. Okay, so I think I leave this video like that, and then yeah, again, thank you so much for this time, and to follow me on social media and to spread the word about those things that happen in American politics, also with the Colombian narcos, all linked together. They pretend that it's nothing. There is no connection, and the Uribe is a great guy in US, but it's not. From the all law enforcement community that are working, let's say, in Colombia, we know already what is the real story, especially since I was a former member of the Technical Investigation Unit of the Attorney General's office back in 2002. I started working in 1999 as a volunteer for 1 year, and then I started officially in the year 2000 until 2002, where the former Attorney General Luis Camilo Sorizaza dismiss me, and they do punitive actions against me only to stop that investigation. The same top head of the Attorney General office. That happened only in Colombia. I guess whatever happened in Colombia stay in Colombia, no? That's kind of the real rule. But in my situation, I think it's important to speak out and to tell everybody, to the public, what's going on in Colombia. Also with the Canadian, in this situation, also with the American politics, no? That is most concerning about Marco Rubio as a head of the State Department, which is ridiculous as well. A member of the narcos in Colombia, they are in the State Department? Come on. I mean, I know people know already the State Department have something fishy going on, but now it's confirmed because they really like Álvaro Uribe Vélez and Iván Duque. So, something to think about it. Okay, thank you so much. So, see you next time. Bye. Thanks.